Mr. Louison.
Mr. Speaker, may I take questions 6 and 7 together?
Yes, please.
Currently, employers are required by legislation to provide various types of leave to support employees' caregiving needs. For instance, besides maternity and paternity leave, employers are also required to provide childcare and extended childcare leave on an annual basis. Some employers have also gone beyond these legally mandated provisions to provide additional paid leave, such as child sick leave, parental care leave, and family care leave. To promote such progressive practices, tripartite partners introduced a tripartite standard on work-life harmony, which encourages employers to provide at least 2 enhanced types of leave in their companies. Depending on what best meets the needs of the employer and its employees, these can include paid child sick leave and paid parental care leave, which the member had asked about. We will continue to promote workplace practices that strike a good balance in addressing employees' caregiving needs and business needs. This includes encouraging flexible work arrangements, which is more sustainable.
Mr. Louison.
Thank you, sir. I thank MOS for the reply and for showing concerns, especially for parents who have twins or triplets and preterm babies. But we've had that tripartite standards for quite some time now. So could I just ask whether there's a time frame where we're going to review on upgrading these tripartite standards into a tripartite guidelines? And second, what are the thresholds before we will consider converting it into a guidelines? And I know that this won't affect the majority of companies, because even for the civil service, only about 25 officers take this unpaid leave every year for the last few years. So it's minimal impact on majority of companies, but a tremendous help that parents of twins and triplets and preterm babies really need. So I hope the government will consider this.
Well, we share the members' concerns with supporting employees with caregiving needs, especially those with young children, as well as those who have to take care of elderly parents. The tripartite standards are voluntary in nature, and basically what we are trying to do is to enable businesses to be able to support their employees through family workplace culture and also balancing business needs as well as the employees' caregiving needs. Well, the tripartite standards basically gives flexibility for employers to provide additional benefits for their employees where possible to do so. And in a tight labor market, it is actually in the employer's interest to consider how best to meet the needs of their employees in order to attract and to retain them. At the same time, the government is also looking at stepping up and enhancing ways in which the community and infrastructure in the public can support employees who have caregiving needs, whether it's childcare facilities or elder care, daycare facilities.
Mr. Ng.
Thank you, sir. I just really hope MMS can just share on whether we are going to review this. I mean, I appreciate that all the other programs in place, but are we going to review this and improve it from a standard into a guidelines? I'm not asking for legislation, but for it to become a tripartite guidelines instead. Thank you.
Well, the difference between tripartite standard and tripartite guideline is that tripartite standard is voluntary for companies to consider. Guidelines, on the other hand, will become mandatory for companies to apply, which basically means that companies that do not comply will be subject to administrative actions by Ministry of Manpower. So as I've explained earlier on, the reason why we do not too quickly and too easily convert tripartite standards into guidelines is because we also have to be mindful of the impact on businesses and at the same time understand that if we want to support employees who have caregiving needs, it's important to promote family workplace culture, flexible work arrangements, which will become guidelines by next year, and at the same time, look at how else we can support employees with caregiving needs through community support as well as public infrastructure. Thank you.
Associate Professor James Lim.
Thanks to MOS Gan for her response. I'm just wondering if I can push it just a little bit more because of course, many of our residents have, especially mothers, not just mothers of triplets, but just working mothers in general, have struggled with this. So I wonder if the ministry will consider perhaps not moving to guidelines for all firms, which I understand, especially for small and medium enterprises, may be difficult to follow through, but perhaps only for the largest firms to begin with.
Minister.
I think thank you, Speaker, for allowing me to respond to both the honourable members of Parliament. We intend to put the tripartite guidelines up sometime next year, in 2024. You would appreciate the fact that this is a tripartite initiative. So it involves the government, it involves the labour movement, as well as the National Employers Federation. So in moving this thing forward, we need to get the concurrence, the support, not just from a top-down perspective, but also from ground up. And that guidelines will then set into motion. It will always be a work in progress to see how we can continue to titrate and calibrate according to the needs of the businesses, the needs of our workers, our local population, as well as also the needs of the employers. I hope this answers and addresses both your concerns. Thank you.